Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Harifazilah bin Ahmad Asri. My matric number is 2022997281. I'm from RSR 2433A. Okay, today I will talk about the characteristic of the population and the physiological and psychological of the population or cause of the disease. Now we go to the characteristic of the autism. Autism is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects social interaction, behavior and communication. Autistic individuals vary widely in their strength and need for support. For this reason, people often refer to autism as Autism Spectrum Disorder, ASD. The feature of autism often appear in the early years. Autism is not a disease, but early intervention can equip children to manage some of the specific challenges they may face in the wider world. In the United States, about 1 in 54 children are on the autism spectrum, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC. What is Autism Spectrum Disorder? Autism Spectrum Disorder is an umbrella term that includes a range of neurodevelopmental features. Autism is not a disease, but it can have a significant impact on a person's life. Its effect can vary widely. Some people will need lifelong support, while others can live and work independently. In some cases, the feature of the condition may be present from infancy. In others, the signs may become more obvious as the individual becomes older. Parents or caregivers may notice that a young child does not babble by the age of 12 months or produce words by 16 months, does not respond when people talk to them but react to other sounds, does not make eye contact, line up toys or objects excessively, does not want to be cuddled, and last one, does not play with others and play make-believe game. For an older child may have difficulty starting conversation, have difficulty making friends and interacting with others, use repetitive or atypical language, be uncomfortable with change to their routine, and last, be extremely passionate about specific topic or object. That's all about the Autism Spectrum Disorder. And for the physiological cause of autism is, there is no known single cause for autism spectrum disorder, but it is generally accepted that it is caused by abnormalities in brain structure or function. Brain scans show difference in the shape and structure of the brain in children with autism compared to in neurotypical children. That's all about the psychological and physiological of the autism. Autism spectrum disorder comprises a group of neurodevelopmental abnormalities that begin in early childhood and are characterized by impairment of social communication and behavior problems including restricted interest and repetitive behavior. It is for the physiology of autism spectrum disorder. Now we continue to the psychological of the autism. People with autism may appear indifferent and remote and can have difficulty forming emotional bond with others. They may have unusual response to sensory experience like the noise of a leaky faucet, for example, might become extremely destructive. Now we go to the causes of the autism. The specific causes of autism are not fully understood, but research indicate that genes interact with aspects of the environment to determine whether an individual has autism. Recent evidence suggests that the disorder may be caused by random genetic mutation, as it is associated with one maternal and paternal age at conception. Such mutation would likely account for the great variability of impairment and neural system involved. There is also evidence that the disorder may be caused by failure of embryonic brain cells to undergo normal pattern of migration during early development, effective later brain structure, and wiring of nerve cell circuits that control social skill, language, movement, and other abilities. A sex imbalance in the number of affected children, 4 times more male than female, has led some researchers to argue that the disorder may also be related to fetal exposure to abnormally high level of testosterone in utero. Many of the traits of autism are said to reflect male cognitive and behavior preferences, such as orientation to detail rather than the big pictures, affinity for things rather than social experience, facility for math and number, and even linguistic impairment. Children with autism can accumulate a large vocabulary without being able to sustain a conversation. This theory, called the extreme male brain, was developed by psychologist Simon Baron Cohen in the 1990 but has been critiqued and questioned by some researchers in recent years. A false belief that autism is caused by standard childhood immunization with mercury content vaccine persists, despite many studies discrediting the link and retraction of the original research paper linking autism to immunization. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Syazwan Hakim bin Muhammad Rashidi and my mention number is 2022748807, and today I'm going to present about exercise and the program prescription. The first one is physical exercise for autism. The first exercise is star jumps. Star jump can aid to strengthen coordination, balance, and core strength. The second one is medicine ball slams. It can boost body awareness, leg and core strength, and cardiovascular endurance. And the last one is arm circles. This could lessen habitual action like clapping or arm flapping. So steps for star jumps is begin in a squatting position with knee bent, feet flat on the floor and arms stuck in toward the chest, and then quickly rise from the floor and form an X with your arms and legs. Lastly, return to the beginning posture after landing with your arms and knees stuck in. Repeat it for 15 repetitions. Next is medicine ball slams. Standing at the start with a medicine ball in each hand, straighten your arms as you raise the ball above. With all your might, slam the ball to the ground. By tossing the ball to hit a target or making the ball heavier, you may make this exercise more difficult. Repeat for 15 repetitions. Lastly, arm circles. Arms by your side, feet shoulder width apart, at shoulder height. Extend your arms straight out the side while maintaining your arms straight. Start forming little circles with your hand. Increase the size of the circles gradually as you move your shoulders. Repeat for 15 repetitions and then change the direction. Next, we move to the emotional program. Keep interacting with them and give moral support. Keep in mind that perseverance is more important than perfection. Teaching proper form is one of a personal trainer's responsibilities. No and try again are frequently used to correct clients who use improper form. You won't believe how frequently people with autism hear or have heard the words no or try again, especially in schools. Making training enjoyable should be a priority for a top trainer. For social program, many autistic children and adults require assistance learning how to behave in various social contexts. They frequently want to socialize but may not know how to approach people or may feel unprepared for new experiences. Practicing social skills can improve involvement in the society and encourage positive outcomes like happiness and friendships. We have gathered advice on social skills from professional educators and families, as well as practical solutions to assist improve chances to participate in the community. Autism-related social skill development includes explicit or direct education, teachable moments, practice, and situations that are realistic. Pay attention to time and timing. Support for improvising, sensory integration, and communication. Next, psychological learning session. We can play name game. Students with autism learn an important life skill through this entertaining group communication activity. How to introduce themselves and remember someone else's name. Gather your pupils in a circle so that they can all see each other before beginning the game. Start with identifying yourself by pointing at yourself and stating, "I am Mr. or Mrs." Ask your youngsters to your right to say their name after you, and then have them say it again while pointing at you. Each youngster should take a turn introducing themselves, pointing at a classmate, and then repeating their name. Second, board game with a twist. Teaching etiquette to youngsters may be a beneficial strategy to improve social skills and emphasize the value of being nice. By forcing participants to say good luck or good game to their opponent both before and after a game of chess, checkers, or mancala, this is straightforward but effective activity adds an etiquette-related wrinkle. Lastly, what would you do? Try this what would you do game as a take-home activity that you may do with families. Families can discuss various events and decide how they would respond by asking each other, how would you help and what would you say? So we proceed to the pro tips. Always consult a doctor before starting an exercise program with an autistic child. Start slow and monitor for signs of fatigue such as shortness of breath, muscle cramps, or dizziness. Ensure the child is well hydrated and rested before exercising. It's best to start at a low intensity and slowly work your way up to harder, more vigorous sessions. Lastly, for the FITT, the frequency that we use is 3 to 5 times a week, and the intensity we have to start from slow. For the time, we are using 10 to 30 minutes per day, and for the type, no loads are added except for the medicine ball slams. That's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Hamil Farhan bin Muhammad Rashid from class RSR 243A and my matric number is 2022765477. Now I will explain and talk about what are the factors that cause the autism can do not perform well to do the exercise. First factor is they have a lower fitness skill than normal person. Second is deficit in developing, maintaining and understand relationship. Third factor is deficiency in social interactive related nonverbal communicative behaviors. And for the last factor is they highly restricted presented interests that are abnormal in intensity or focus. Lower fitness skill. Our first point, like I said earlier, the autism people really have an issue with their skill related fitness. For first point, they might have a low balancing body, so we could see that the autism people have a problem to balancing their body well when do the exercise. Second is body coordination. When we talk about the body coordination, normal person usually can adapt and fast learn to do any activity or exercise that include with total body coordination like footwork and hand coordination. But for autism people, they cannot do well, and for them to do the total body coordination are really hard. Last is visual motor control. So the autism will have a low coordination of visual perception and fine motor control. Example, they cannot coordinate well their eyes and hands well when do the exercise. Next one is deficit in developing, maintaining and understand relationship. So the autism people really feel challenged in changing behavior to fit different social contexts. Means the autism cannot adapt with the new environment and new social life. Then difficulty making friends or sharing imaginative play. These issues actually happen because they do not know how to make friends and play together with other people, and usually they will feel shy at the public. Last point is the lack of involvement with peers. Like I have said earlier, the autism people mostly feel too shy and don't want to involve with other people to spend time or play together. Other than that, the deficiency in social interactive related nonverbal communicative behaviors. First point is inadequate verbal and nonverbal communication connection. Impairment in body language, eye contact or gesture in understanding and usage. The autism people did not have a lot of knowledge, so they did not know how to interact and communicate with others. That's why they usually be shy. Third point, a total lack of nonverbal cues and facial expression. We could see their face expression when they like or do not like on something. So if you want the autism people do an exercise that they don't feel comfortable, we can see their face expression change. Last point is highly restricted physical interests that are abnormal in intensity of focus. The autism people have strong inclination for obsession with strange items, such as like the item that they never saw and touched. So they will feel obsessed and want to try to want that thing. Lastly, most of the autism people feel overly narrow or persistent interest is probably according to the circumstance of the situation. Okay, that's all for me. Explain about the exercise dropout factor for the autism people. Thank you so much.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Deli Mu'abim Mazuki and I will continue about exercise iron. The strategy that we use in exercise iron, the first one is using visual, second one is make exercise part of their routine, and the last one is remember that perfection is not the goal. Okay, for the first one is using visual. Engaging a person with autism into an exercise routine or any new routine will take time, creativity, and visual supports of features. Visual supports help bring in structure, routine, and sequence that many children with autism require in order to carry out their daily activities. Visual supports, when implemented correctly, allow students with autism the freedom to engage in life regardless of impairment. As the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. By reducing your verbal instruction or completely removing it and replacing it with a picture of an exercise can make the difference in getting those with an autism to make the exercise connection. Next is make exercise part of their routine. Those on the autism spectrum benefit from following a structure schedule from the minute they wake up. This is the same as many of us. Hit the alarm clock, brush teeth, take a shower, get dressed, eat breakfast, and go to work. The only difference is a person with autism may be using a visual support as they do each activity. Structure and routine are what keeps many on task in daily living, school, and it must be implemented in an exercise session. It is critical that an exercise program is thoughtful, integrated into their daily or weekly routine. For example, the day typically doesn't end at the end of a school day. Many go to various therapy sessions throughout the week for additional help. Adequate parents that even one exercise session per week can be beneficial. Begin by having the family or individual choose one day and time per week to get started, and do not change that day or time. The last one is remember that perfection is not the goal. One of a personal trainer's responsibility is to instruct perfect form. When a client is using improper form, the typical words to correct it are no and try again. Those with autism hear or have heard no or try again more than you will ever know, especially in the schools. The trainer's first goal should be to make exercise a positive experience. SCFM recommends 30 to 60 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per day, and for resistance exercise anyway from 8 to 20 repetitions per exercise. These are realistic guidelines for most but not for those with autism. Start your client out slowly, engage them in a few exercises but not for an extended period for time. It may be only 3 to 8 minutes of aerobic activity and 1 to 2 muscular fitness or flexibility exercise for 2 to 8 repetition only. That's all for exercise 8 adherence.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Amri bin Abdul Rahman. I'm from RSR 2433A and my entry number is 20227484 and 11. So what we are going to do today, I will continue with the conclusion. So for the first point, physical activity is a useful therapy approach for the control of ASD. So the long-term impact of physical activity are being fully supported by research. Now we will go to second point, the specific of exercise and activity that make up a successful PA program are a matter of debate. Additionally, program delivery technique need to be improved which sign of autistic disease itself. Therapy approach is necessary because each individual with ASD has its own unique set of symptoms and personal traits. Now we will go to the third point, the production of broad guidelines and need research and evidence collect in order to establish a well plan for individuals with autism spectrum disorder. This rule may come to regulate highly specialized structure and personalized intervention. So that's all for the conclusion. Now I will continue with the reference for this group. Okay, this is the first page for the reference, and this is the second page for the reference. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.